Want unstoppable confidence and healthy boundaries? Just keep on watching.
Welcome to another episode of the InnerPreneur. I'm your host, Tanya Camille, and today we're building something powerful, your self-love starter kit. Self-love isn't just about feeling good. It's about how you show up for yourself every single day. It's about the way you treat yourself, the way you set boundaries, and the way you walk in a room with confidence. So if you've been struggling to make self-love a priority, today we're making it simple with a step-by-step guide to help you embrace self-care boundaries and unshakable confidence. Because loving yourself isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. It's a journey. So let's get into it. Step 1 is embracing self-care. Now, self-care isn't selfish, it's survival. Many people think of self-care as just bubble baths and spa days, but true self-care is about honoring your needs consistently. Self-care is your mind, body, and soul connection. You can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Now, we all know the physical self-care, but I'm gonna go through them all just so that we can be clear. Because remember, this is a step-by-step system. So, the first one is emotional self-care, journaling, therapy, self-reflection. Having that time with self. No distractions, just you and your spirit having a moment. Physical self-care is moving your body, eating nourishing foods, and resting. Like making that a priority, moving your body, eating healthy, and getting rest. Then there's spiritual self-care, meditation, prayer, and grounding practices. Most people say, I can't meditate. My mind keeps moving. Everybody can meditate. It doesn't always have to be sitting there and your mind is just not moving at all. When you feel your mind start to talk, you just come back to silence. You start to breathe. Just breathe in and out. Focus on your breathing. And that's healthy for you anyway, so just focus on your breathing. And last but not least is fun self-care. Doing things that bring you joy just because. So do me a favor and write down one self-care practice you've been neglecting and commit to doing it this week. Now, we have physical self-care, spiritual self-care, fun self-care, and emotional self-care. I know one of those things. You could do one thing this week for yourself and practice it. Step 2 is setting boundaries without guilt. Because boundaries equal self-respect. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about making sure your energy isn't drained by things that don't serve you. Let me say that again. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about making sure your energy isn't drained by things that don't serve you. Many people fear setting boundaries because they don't want to disappoint others. But what about disappointing yourself? What about looking out for yourself? Who's going to look out for you if you don't look out for you? Saying no to others is saying yes to yourself, because no is a complete sentence. You don't need any other explanations behind it. Just no. Some common signs that you might not be setting boundaries are you feel drained after certain interactions. But you keep on going back to the well. But you feel drained after certain interactions. You say yes when you really mean no. And then you feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. Where they do that at? You have to set boundaries in real life. With your time, with your energy, with your work, with your relationships. Ways to set boundaries, I'll give an instance for each one. Way to set boundaries with your time is, I can't commit to that right now, but I appreciate the invite. A way to set boundaries with your energy is, I love you, but I can't have this conversation right now. A way to set boundaries at work is, I need more time to complete this task. And a way to set boundaries with your relationships, very simple. That doesn't work for me. No explanation needed, just like no. That just doesn't work for me. Peace be with you if you don't understand. So I ask you to identify one boundary you need to set and practice communicating it with confidence. Most people have a hard time with the no. They say no, but then they want to give you 100 reasons why they said no, which negates the no. So take a time this week and find something to practice communicating it with confidence. Find something, one of these items, and identify that boundary and practice communicating it with confidence. The next step is unshakable confidence. Confidence is built, not given. Many people think confidence is something you have, but in reality, it's something you create through your actions. Confidence comes from showing up for yourself over and over again. The key to confidence is keeping promises to yourself. But when you make promises to yourself, make realistic promises to yourself. Don't try to say, I'm going to do 10 things today when you know you only have time for 2. Then you're beating yourself up later. When you knew, baby steps. Be intentional about the promises you keep to yourself because you value yourself and you don't want to overcompromise yourself. So think about that. If you want to strengthen your confidence, start by doing things before you feel ready to do them, because action builds confidence. We're waiting for everything to drop in place, and that's never going to happen, because everything we need to know is in the action, in the moving. The knowing is in the doing. You find nothing out but waiting for whatever your mind is telling you need to wait for. Silence the self-doubt with affirmations. Talk to yourself like you're your best friend. We have all this negative self-talk in our head. We talk to ourselves crazy. But would you talk to your best friend or your loved one, someone you love, your mom, your brother, your sister? Or sometimes people don't talk well, but definitely talk well to yourself, because you are your priority first. And most importantly, stand in your worth, own your power. Stop apologizing for who you are, because who you are is enough. So my last thing I will ask you to do is write down one thing you've been afraid to do because you lack the confidence. Then take one small step toward doing it. And then take another small step towards doing it. And then take another small step towards doing it. And before you know it, you're moving in a flow. and things start to come to you. And the picture starts to evolve, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So know that self-love is not something you wait for, it's something you create. Through self-care, boundaries, and confidence, you are setting the foundation for a life where you show up for you. Start small, but start today. Pick one step from this episode and put it into action. Because self-love isn't just about how you feel, it's about what you do. If this episode spoke to you, drop a heart in the comments. Any thoughts or feelings you have, please feel free to share them. And if you feel that someone else needs to hear this, share it with someone who needs this message. And don't forget to grab your free self-love guide. The link is in the description. Much love to you, always. I'm Tanya Camille.